This lesson is about some different ways to use trigonometry to find the areas of a triangle. We know that you already know how to find the area of a triangle by doing 1/2 the base times the height, but these are some formulas that you probably have not yet seen in order to find the area of a triangle. Here's the first couple right here. The first ones are all, of course, having signs in them. You've probably seen Heron's formula before. Heron's formula is what you're going to use if you have 3 sides of a triangle and you don't know any angles. Okay? Then you will use Heron's formula. All right. Excuse me. A triangle has sides 4, 5, and 7, and you need to find the angles, or find the area of the triangle. So it doesn't matter what you call it. I'm just going to say A is 4, B is 5, and C is 7. I am going to use Heron's formula there. So I have it listed up to the right over here. So that is the formula that I will use. In order to use that formula, the first thing you need to know is S. And S is half of the perimeter. So in order to find S, I am going to need to take half of A plus B plus C, which of course is 1/2 of 4 plus 5 plus 7. And 1/2, that means it's 1/2 of 16. And of course that means it's 8. Okay? So S is 8, and then you're going to take and you're going to plug that into this formula right here. So in order to find the area, I will go the square root of 8 times 8 minus side A, which is 4, times 8 minus side B, which is 5, and 8 minus side C, which is 7. And so then, if you want to plug this into your calculator exactly like you see it, that's fine. If you want to simplify that a little bit more so that you get 8 times 4 times 3 times 1, that is fine too. However you want to do it, it doesn't really matter, but you're going to stick that into your calculator, and you should come out to get the square root of 96, which is 9.8, and decimals are fine here. I did not give you any units, so I'm just going to call this units squared here when I find my area. I didn't give you inches or centimeters or anything like that. So 9.8 units squared. All right, a little bit different formula here. Now we're going to use a different one. So here when I draw my triangle, and I just want you to be able to picture this, A is side 8, side B is 6 inches, and gamma, and by the way, this would be side C then, and gamma, remember, has to be opposite of side C, so this is gamma, which is 30 degrees. And you can see that you have everything to plug in for this formula right here, and so you will have 1/2 times A, which is 8, times B, which is 6, times sine at 30 degrees. And you can stick that into your calculator just like you see it. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode, or you're not going to come up with the right answer. But A should come out to be 12, and I gave you units this time, so 12 inches squared. Units are always squared when you're dealing with area. All right, and the last one, which is kind of this crazy shape right here, which you don't technically have a formula for, but you can divide it into triangles and go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this right here, and I'm going to make another triangle right here, because then over here I can see that I have this side and the angle in between. So that means I can use this formula right here. Same thing down here. I have this side, I have this side. This angle is 105. This angle right here will be 180 minus 105, so that angle will be 75 degrees. So you can pretty easily figure that out. And then we can I'm going to call this region 1, this region 2, and this region 3. And what we need to do is we need to find each of those triangles separately and then go from there. Okay, 1 and 3 aren't so bad, so we're going to start there. So if I am at region 1, then I know, region 1, I know that I am going to use that formula right here that goes 1/2 of one side, which is 30, the other side, which is 70, times the sine at the angle in between them, which happens to be 10 degrees in this case. So Region 1's area comes out to be 182.33 feet squared. Okay, and I'm just going to box that off right now. That's not my final answer, but I'm going to box it off so I have an easier time finding it. Then I'm going to go to region 3, and again I'm going to use similarly that same formula, and you're going to go 1/2 of the one side, which is 40, the other side, which is 20, times sine of the angle in between them, which is 75 degrees. Make sure you use the angle that's inside the triangle, not outside the triangle. Okay, and when I plug that into my calculator, making sure that it is in degree mode, that comes out to be 386.37 feet squared. And again, I will box that off. Okay, now in order to find region 2, this is what's a little bit tricky here. In order to find region 2, I am going to need to do some work, because in region 2, if you look at that, I do not have any angles, nor can I find any angles, and I don't have all three sides. So you're going to have to gather some information first before you can find region 2. And I am going to take these and I'm going to move them out of my way for a minute so that my picture is a little bit clearer. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I am going to call this side right here X, and I'm going to use triangle 1 right here to find side X. Okay? And I'm going to need to do that by doing law of cosines. Okay? If you try to do law of sines, you can go sine at 10 over X equals sine at these two angles right here will not be the same, so I can't subtract them from 180 and split them in half. That's not going to work here. So I have to use law of cosines. Okay, so here we go. To find x first, x squared will be 30 squared plus 70 squared minus 2 times 30 times 70 times cosine at 10 degrees. And again, this is what x squared is, so when you push that into your calculator, you can just take the square root of it, and x should come out to be 40.79 feet. Okay? Very similarly then, I'm going to find y, and I'm going to call this y. And to do y, I'm going to use this triangle down here, very much the same, and I will go y squared equals 40 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 40 times 20 times cosine at 75. Okay, and again, you'll put the square root when you put that into your calculator, and y should come out to be, when you punch that all in, 39.82. All right, so now I've got some distances, which is good. I'm going to label them up here. 39.82 and 40.79. Okay, and now that I know that, I can find region 2 pretty easily here. I'm going to just keep moving these things. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Out of the way here. I'm going to group these first so that I don't all right, I am going to just move these guys out of the way. Okay, here we go. Now I need to find triangle 2. So that's this triangle right here. Okay, you're going to need to use Heron's formula for it. So first of all, to find Heron's formula for that triangle, you need to find S. And S, of course, will be 1/2 of the perimeter, which is 35 plus 39.82 plus 40.79. And when you type that in then, S comes out to be 57.81. Okay, so I've gotten that far. Now to do area 2 here, I am going to, again, I'm going to use Heron's formula, And I'm going to kind of figure this out here. So to do Huron's formula, I will do the square root, and this is going to be kind of icky numbers, but that's okay, we can do it, of S, which is 57.81, times S minus A, which is 35, times S minus B, times S minus C. Now, you don't really need to simplify this. You can just stick it into your calculator as it is instead of wasting time simplifying. And your area for that region should come out to be 635.42 feet squared. Okay, so I'm going to box that off. Now, that's not my grand final answer. My grand final answer would be to take this number right here and then the other two numbers and add them together. I'm going to scoot this down here now so that I can see all three of these together. And what I want to do is I want to add these three numbers right here, region 1, region 2, and region 3, all together. Okay? And when I do that, your total area should be 1,204.12 feet squared, about. Okay, not perfect because we did a lot of rounding along the way, but that is about what it should be. And we are done.